imagine. I don't even buy anything on Apple. So why is that gonna hurt me? What, you gonna tell me I can't use my phone for 24 hours?
Amen. What in the world? Before friends
That
pass here,
outfit.
please to hear story. I sense an ordeal in our immediate future.
Yeah, that sounds like an ordeal.
Meh, gratitude for stopping in tracks. What is matter? Matter is a bit complicated, to be frank. If we can help,
We're not going for
we would like to do
complicated.
so. I know, right? Meh. Although we pretty much only just arrived here, so if it's directions you need, we might not be the ones to ask. Issue is not about where to go. Actually, is about tracking down friends. They get lost? They not lost, no, they scatter to designated locations to perform ordered land survey. Land survey? What point of that? Measuring relative and absolute elevation of terrain, plot distance, and other such. Oh
What
no.
y'all trying to do?
Yeah, oh no, completely forgot to do mandatory self-intro. Qualified, certified, satisfaction, guaranteeified. Pawn Spectre 10-2 is name. Surveying new lands is game. Pleasure to meet you, 10-2. I'm Shulk, and these are Melia, Nene, and Kino. Pleasure all belong to 10-2. My curiosity is a little piqued. Might I ask what a Pawn Spectre is? Question is extremely well timed. Pawn Spectres is name of elite unit of no-pawn surveyors, and 10-2 is one. No-pawn from Frontier Village, surely hear Pawn Spectre name said in tone of reverence at least once or twice. Sister Pawn, have any clue? Nene guess Data Pawn might know. Irk, things worse than 10-2 thought. Long period of suspended activity was disastrous for brand recognition. Meh, no. Tribulation is only opportunity in full body costume. Go on, 10-2. Have to put best foot forward. 10-2 and other Pawn Spectres actually come to Biona's shoulder to conduct full and complete survey. But Chief 1-1, who is brigade leader, forget to inform of rendezvous point. So though 10-2 finish own assignment, looks like up creek without paddle. Expect all Pawn Spectres in same boat.
Sheesh.
10-2 thinks should probably go look for teammates, but with monsters carpeting land, probably even veteran Pawn Spectre like 10-2 have hard time. Apart from yourself, how many members does your team number? Nice round 11.
Sheesh.
11? I see. This is a vast land, so searching by yourself certainly seems dangerous. Do you know where your colleagues might have gone? The two have couple thinklings. Two Pawn Spectres can probably find. Then maybe they have clues for other whereabouts. All writings. Then we go search for first two. Now wait single minute, Kino. Still plenty of important business we attending to. Then to not get underfoot, promise. Friends look strong, so thought maybe can go with. That way, if we see Pawn Spectre somewhere along travel path, can help out each other. Is good plan or what? What do you think, Melia? Do you really need to ask Schultz? We help you look for Pawn Spectre friends. Could really be Miss Melia that say that. Really? Oh boy, tear ducts of 10-2 welling with joy. Thank you, friends.
This speech pattern.
I love how the no pawns speak. Can you tell us, to the best of your knowledge, where you would expect your colleagues to be? One was in charge of area between crossroads on way to Companion's Cape, all way to Nerthus Necropolis. That one is bit of coward, so 10-2 not sure he do survey job properly.
Sheesh.
Okay. Other one was assigned to area past Cragmaw Caverns, stretching from lake on lefty side up to Pillar Knoll. Might be having case of screamy dabs at unexpected circumstance, so 10-2 would like to put mind at ease. Screamy dabs. Okay. That's a word.
So one's a coward, and the other one's scared of everything.
Alright. And less friends think 10-2 is some kind of freeloader. Let reassure when push come to shove, 10-2 shove. I feel better already. Thank you, 10-2. But of course, 10-2 most grateful too.
At least he's saying he ain't no bitch.
Pawn Spectres unite. Blue team 10-2. Okay, blue, orange, and I'm gonna take that to red. Or a yellow.
Yeah.
That could be a yellow and I don't know. Orange, maybe.
It was an ordeal in itself, but
Pawn Spectre enabled
so this
special
is the
attacks.
special attacks.
Okay. Pawn Spectres are an elite band of surveyors from Frontier Village, split between red, blue, and yellow teams. If you can befriend members from all three teams, Shulk and his friends will gain access to a new kind of special attack, so try to seek them out wherever possible.
Huh.
The full Pawn Spectre Brigade numbers 12 members. When you recruit one, they may tip you off to the location of others. Locations you've heard of are marked on the map with a flag, or banner, whichever one you want to call it.
So you're really about to get an army of no pawn to swarm into battle and fight with you. That's actually going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, but they're all, as it says right now, they all have issues they struggle with. Resolve those issues for them to gain their help in your quest. So they all have a quest. I gotta do a quest too. In the collectibles section of the main menu, you can access a Pawn Spectre report to learn more about the Pawn Spectres you have befriended up until that point. All right. So that's that.
I mean, that does sound like a hassle in itself, but she did say that it was going to be a hassle.
Yeah, and I mean, he's right there now, so it's like, whatever. Okay, that works. So, did you see the stuff about, what was it? The Xbox?
Yeah, what was it? It's only $300?
Yeah, for the Series S. So that's like the weaker version of the Xbox Series X.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be basically like a little bit, I guess it's I don't know what to call it. It's like a midway point, I guess, between like our Xbox One X and our Xbox Series X.
What's wrong? Is tummy hurty?
So like,
No,
it won't do 4K.
Like I'm just
I don't think it'll do
remembering what we
120
heard
frames per
Companion's
second.
cape.
But if you're just looking
I
for a
have been
box that can play
mistaken in my
games and you don't
thinking.
have to have like, and you're okay with
The
digital,
war is over
then
and
that's probably
peace
for
has
you.
been restored. We
Gotcha.
are rebuilding slowly but steadily. I'd thought that with peace came happiness.
You're
Indeed,
wrong.
that even here, people would embrace it with open arms.
Bruh.
But the reality is different.
The wounds have not yet fully healed.
Quite. Those who lost their home. Those seeking the light. Those who bear grudges. Though joy for them is still scarce, I thought only of me.
But you didn't. Not at all. The High Entia of Colony 9. Actually, everyone who remained. You worked hard for them. You, Dunban, and Atharon led by example. Just so that others could smile.
Yes, yes.
I guess that means Dumban's in charge over in Colony 9.
The man's living his best life out there, ain't he?
Which might mean that Fiora's helping him out.
Before, Kina cried every day. Did not even want to go potty alone.
Yo, don't put his business out like that. Look at that kid, stop.
Why you bring that up? They're completely irrelevant to discussion. Embarrass
I
Kina
agree with
not
my
to
man.
Agree to disagree.
Oh,
Dang.
The only way you cannot abandon hope.
this child's like, oh, my reputation
It's already been tainted.
destroyed before it even began. Oh man, I remember the scene. It's where Shulk was like, yo, Melia, you want some of this revenge?
Revenge.
Good times.
Back before we figured
You are the
everything out,
hope of the High Entia.
became
You
a
will
god,
not transform into a
recreated the
Telethi.
world.
Even after the Bionis has reawakened, you can still succeed the Imperial line. You have the power to end our suffering.
This when he exploded.
I think that was.
Friends, thank you. I think I can finally see now what my role here is.
To be a person?
Maybe to be a
Onwards.
bridge.
To Alchemoth.
The way she walks bothers me, I'm not gonna lie.
It's not the best. It can be better. But
It could be much better.
oh man, hype. Evelyn. I swear, if each of you is named after the number. Qualified, certified, but fully booked, so hands are tied. Inspector Evelyn, his name. Surveying new lands is game. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Ah, friends have impeccable timing. Eleven in dire need of helping. Like you've got a problem. Survey for a day was finished, so Evelyn makes to sit down on sitting spot over yonder for well-deserved snack break. Was just removing tasty morsel from knapsack when all of a sudden, whoosh, splash, meal thing plopped straight into lake. All gone in single
Wait.
eye wink. What?
I'm confused. She opened her snack, but it jumped in the water?
I guess she dropped it? Butterfingers? I don't know. Like, all gone in single eye wink, like tears standing under waterfall. Wapple Sardi in lake scoffed down every last piece of hard reserved footage. But no ugly fishy fish incur wrath of Evelyn and live to swim about it. Sardi will rue day and made enemy of Evelyn. Friends speak to Evelyn because felt urge to help Nopon distress, right? Then please to avenge poor Evelyn.
Bruh.
Okay. Alright.
Bruh.
So
Thought
like,
this was your revenge streak.
Yeah,
How did I
why?
get pulled into this?
man, every quest in this game is like, how did I get involved in your nonsense? Also, y'all can't fight on here because you're too short. That's not gonna happen. Second, let this come up on land as much as possible. You missed. Pawn Spectre assistance. In battle against enemies, Pawn Spectre will jump in to help Chulk and his friends on their own initiative. Each Pawn Spectre has a signature move, healing the party, debuffing enemies, and so on.
Oh, that's nice of them.
Red team have an offensive signature move, blue team mostly have a healing signature move, but not all of them, and yellow team have a debuffing signature move. If you perform well in battle, start affinity, burst affinity, etc. By pressing B at the right time, the Pawn Spectre may enter a state of high tension. Pawn Spectres in a state of high tension will join the battle with all their strength and with no slacking off. High tension will wear off with time, returning to the usual state. Okay.
We can definitely do this! Monado, lend us your power!
Let me just reduce damage I take. Like a boss. You know, that no longer lasts for a long time. I'm just now realizing that.
I'm feeling it.
What, the shield?
Yeah, because it's not fully leveled up.
We can definitely do this!
You ran away. I ain't gonna be doing that for a second. So I guess you're out of luck for a little small bit.
Wait, the enemy can run away?
If it gets to the point where they can't do all their attacks and all they can do is like normal attack, or they're just the fish do it. Not everybody does it, but the fish will,
Oh,
because
okay.
the water and land thing is so close to the edge that it just makes it so it's like, if we got too close, we now need to reset. And reset is just running away to your default location. So starting over the entire match.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, dang it. That sucks when it happens. So yeah, like, Xbox got announced. Well, Xbox Series S basically got fully announced, like, officially. And,
But you said, did you say it was not as good? It's not gonna run 4K. You
it will
said
not
it's
run 4K, and it
weaker?
probably won't be at 120 frames per second as well. Because, like, the Xbox One Series X can do that. It can do the 4K, it can do the... Okay, what's fighting me? What's got my attention? Oh, flying thing. No. The Xbox Series X can do that.
Okay, so...
Now you're like, what is the point in it?
Yeah.
So, you remember when the Wii U came out, and, like, it was getting no game that the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One was getting?
Yeah.
Okay, and that wasn't, and like now the Switch gets those games. Like, we don't get them at the same level, but we still get them. We get The Witcher, we get Alien Isolation. Like, almost any game that's third party that's running on a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One could theoretically run on a Switch, just in a lower, you know, resolution and graphic fidelity. And that's because of the actual architecture for it. So, like, That's the whole purpose of it, to make a cheaper box that would be able to run all the games the Series X could run, just at lower graphics. Because the CPU shouldn't be different. The only thing that'll actually be different is the GPU, like the graphics card, kind of, in a way.
Okay.
And most of the stuff that goes into like how games run and how they look, well, how games run and such, goes on the CPU, and the graphics is for the graphics card. So if you lower graphics, you're fine, but it should still be able to handle all the actual computational stuff of like, this is what the game's supposed to do, this is what the AI is supposed to be doing, stuff like that. All the thinking is in that CPU, and all that look is in the graphics card. So as long as you're not really caring about your looks, but you just want your games to run like they should, that's what you're looking at.
But which of us wants to do that?
Out of the two of us, neither.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But there are going to be people who will want to do that.
I want max capacity personally.
And I mean, if that was, I mean, you gotta think about it. Like, let's take this into account. It's a $300 machine.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's not expensive.
But we can,
as it could be.
Yes, and at this point, I mean, we're looking at more than likely the Xbox Series X and like the PlayStation 5 being like $500.
Yeah.
So now you can clearly tell people, hey guys, you just want to play these games? You can save $200 just buying this machine. I mean, the average person that's not going to be completely like, hey man, I love everything being like the most beautiful thing, I just want to play my game, and just wants to be like, I just want to play my games, will just buy that. They won't care about 4K. Like, they'll just be like, okay, 1080p, that's what I know. I've had that for the past like 2 decades. I understand it.
Yeah, no need to go out of my way
yeah.
on that one.
You'll just know what you're getting. So I'm not, I understand it. I don't know how to feel about it. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's weird to start your entire gen that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of a console that's done that. That's started with, let's have our strongest and our weakest at the same time. Like, the Switch came out, and then the Switch Lite came out, and the Switch Lite is weaker than the Switch, but it's portable completely and all that jazz. You get that. But, I mean, you had the Switch for like a good old 2.5 years before that. So, like, are they going to launch this one, then launch it with the Series X, and then launch another one afterwards?
Honestly, who knows? But if that were the case, I don't really see too many people. Like, I feel like that's just gonna stretch you too far, you know?
I don't know. Like, because, I mean, games are made with, like, assets being taken into mind of being higher than you're gonna probably have them on their consoles.
Yeah.
Like, you start generally pretty high and you just lower things till it runs. You just want to make sure that the mechanics will be consistent, but graphics-wise, there's like higher models for everything. And that's just how that's always been, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know. It's the thought of having two of them at the same time like that. Like, if they had launched the PS4 and the PS4 Pro at the same time, which one would you have gotten?
Gotten the Pro.
Even if it had been like $100 more?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. That's how it would have been. And I imagine a lot of people who just were in that boat would have done the same.
Yeah.
But like the average customer, like, they just want something that the kids can play that they'll shut up about and won't break the bank. Especially when it's hard to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Like, this might help them out a lot, because $500 is a lot to digest when, like, you might not be able to pay your bills next week, but you still want to get a gift.
That's why I don't think that way.
Yeah, we don't have kids. I mean, yeah.
Well, no, not even that, but, like, even if I had kids, like, I'm never going to be putting myself in that type of jeopardy over something of that nature. Like,
well, it's not like they wanted to put themselves in that kind of position.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, like, even, like, growing up, like, my family was in that situation many a times, and my parents always just explained to me, like, look, it's not an ideal world, and I can't do this for you. And I, you know, of course, as a kid, you don't understand, and you're just like, you guys are just mean to me.
You don't love me. Little did you know they love you
but-
enough to feed you to keep you alive.
Exactly. So, like, for me, I can't, like, I respect my parents. Now that I understand, I respect my parents enough for them to be able to make that appropriate of a decision to be like, look, there are things that are more important, and although you don't understand that right now, you will when you're older.
Yeah.
And so I personally would continue that path that my parents took, where it's like, look, we ain't got it. that's the harsh reality. We ain't
That's
got
the
it.
gist of it.
You know, we will get it when we can, type deal. But as of right now, we ain't got it.
Wow, we are just dying. Hold up.
But he's so close to death as well. Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
you've got no crewmates.
Yeah.
I see the little researcher guy just running around the.
Yeah, you ain't doing nothing. Help. Yeah, that got announced, $300, and I was like, that's pretty cool. That's chill. That's fine.
Yeah, that's chill, but is it the move? We'll see.
We'll see. It releases early in November.
Okay.
So, I mean, I guess it's now in Sony's court to be like, okay, now announce your price.
But they're not doing the same thing in that regard. So
No,
they're
their
not,
digital
so-
is the same specs basically as their a physical version.
The physical, yeah.
So
Which I still have not decided which version I'm gonna get. I think I'm gonna get digital though.
I'm probably gonna get physical. I just don't like giving up the ability to have my disc.
Yeah, I feel you. And I mean, some of the games that come out, they do have like really awesome like disc covers.
Yep. Don't want to give them all up yet.
But I don't want to always buy discs because like I don't.
Well, I don't always have to buy disc, but having the option is nice, you know.
So I can. Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But what then? How are you going to?
What?
The physical copy comes with, like, obviously if you go to PlayStation Network, you can just download it onto your system.
Yes.
So, refresh my memory, what's the benefit of getting the digital version?
I mean,
Other than
hey,
not having a disc.
I mean, let's say that for some god-awful reason, Sony just decides I don't get to keep my account. Like, I violated terms of service, and I just don't even know how, but I did. That means all my games on there are not mine anymore.
Which is why you get the physical copy.
Yes, because then I own that stuff. Also, let's say that I have a
What's
game,
the benefit of the digital, though?
less space being taken up in your house, and it should run faster a little bit, I guess, because it doesn't have to read the disc.
Gotcha.
But like, I imagine that's going to be incremental as we get closer and closer to just everything using an SSD. But like, I don't know. Who knows?
Gotcha.
Who knows? But yeah, that happened, and that was interesting. Other stuff did happen. Nintendo had their little event. They had like they had a direct
Okay.
for Mario 35th anniversary.
Yeah, my friends were talking about that.
Yeah, so like a lot of stuff is coming out.
Are you interested in the new Mario?
What do you mean? There's nothing new. There's nothing new.
Well, is there not? Because the way that they had announced, they were talking about it. It was a
Where are you
new,
going?
Mario.
Okay, so here's
or
what.
something from Mario was, being released.
All right,
and thus-
so here's the gist of it. They're releasing a limited availability 3-pack of three of the three Super Mario games that released for the console the first time it was around for it.
Okay.
So like, because every console since like Nintendo 6, well, every console gets a Super Mario game. There's a Mario series and there's a Super Mario. Super Mario is like the ones that are like, okay, this is the franchise as it should be for this console. It's showing it off, you know. So like, For this one, for Nintendo 64, it was 64. It was
Yeah.
It was Mario 64. It was the first 3D movement Mario game, and it was supposed to show off the fact that we were able to do that now. You know, just like, oh, cool, look at this new stuff. You know, why are you almost dead already? What are you doing?
Looks like he's over there dazed.
I'm dazed. Help me. Oh, but like, and that was the one. That's one of the ones we're getting. We're getting that for freaking. What is it? Oh, don't you dare go away! Come on, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. There we go. We're getting. Oh my gosh, I'm phased in the rock. Help! Oh no! All right. Oof. And that's one of the games we're getting. We're getting that one. We're getting the one for GameCube, which was Super Mario Sunshine, which is like, some people love it, some people hate it, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
And then we're getting the one for the Wii, Super Mario Galaxy. And those are all going to be in 3-pack, $60. They seem to be using some newer textures, or at least the higher quality models they had made that they just didn't get running on the systems.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, okay, cool, cool. I'm excited to see those. Then there's the one that's releasing next year, which is 3D World, which was the Wii U game. And that's going to be interesting because...
Why is that going to be interesting?
Well, for one, it is another game that was on the Wii U that will now not be on the Wii U anymore. Continuing the trend of my Wii U being completely useless, or becoming more irrelevant by the day. But like, the most important thing is, it's the first 3D Mario game that will have like actual co-op online.
Okay.
So like, in the game, you can okay. It's, you get to play as Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Peach. And you're going around in like a 3D environment, similar to how, I imagine you've seen how Odyssey looks. It's kind of like that, but just like more divided into worlds. And now that's actually going to have an online component to it. It's also going to have new DLC, like a new expansion pack, which seems might be a challenge mode kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, cool, I like that. Levels weren't necessarily difficult, so that'll be good to see. But neither of those is new things. None of this stuff is actually new. In fact, the weirdest thing was, someone was looking through the code for one of the events for the Mario Maker that they have, which was also going to have a 35th anniversary event, and it seems like this was supposed to happen like 6 months earlier.
Oh, wow.
But like, I guess COVID just hit them so hard that all this stuff got super delayed. Yeah. It makes me think like this was supposed to be something that was supposed to launch in, like the 3-pack was supposed to be in summer during the event and all that stuff happening. And the freaking 3D World was supposed to be in November or like close to it. Like it was supposed to be a fall release, but now it's next year. Yeah. And I was like, that sucks.
That does suck.
Because I really would have enjoyed playing that. Like, I had some really fun times playing that game and like 100%ing it with my friends. Like, you want to talk about just the most frustrating thing, you just mention anyone who's played at Champion Road and just see them like, oh my god, flashbacks. But it's such a fun game. I loved it. It seems to be faster though. Like, it runs faster.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. We'll see. Means my timings will now be off. But I'll be okay with that. And that got shown off. Okay, so now are you on my team? Morrow Cops. Munch, crunch, crunch. So slurp, tasty. Can feel like flowing back into limses. And King. Munch, Franks, Fey, Mush. Okay, he's talking with food in his mouth. Yeah.
I was gonna say, we're not even gonna bother.
Thanks, friends, very much. Maybe all this kerfuffle, not so bad after all. I did really good with that. Good job, me. But yeah, so that got announced. It looks really cool. All the stuff they're doing. Everyone thinks there's going to be another event for, because it's, I think the 35th anniversary for Zelda is next year.
Oh wow.
So yeah, a lot of stuff always happening. So we're like, okay, that'll probably be the year we get all this stuff for like, you know, Breath of the Wild 2 and everything else that's gonna release. But before that, we are actually getting a new Zelda game this year, which will be a sequel, technically, to Hyrule Warriors.
Okay.
Do you know what Hyrule Warriors is?
Nope.
Do you know what the Warrior series is? Like the
Yep.
Dynasty Warriors and all that?
Yeah.
Okay, so those people made a Legend of Zelda version of the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's really, really fun. It's really cool. And it's like Dynasty Warriors, but it's a take on it from a Zelda perspective. And
Gotcha.
they've done it with that, and they've done a Fire Emblem one too.
Okay.
And they're pretty interesting. Like it really does throw the concept. It throws a wrench into the general plan of how Dynasty Warriors works, and I love it.
Gotcha.
It also has a really good soundtrack. Like it's like Legend of Zelda music, but rock theme, and I'm like, okay, this was great. Okay, great, new people. But yeah, this one will take place 100 years before Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
So we'll actually get to see like what led up to the events of like.
Wait, you said 100 years?
Yes.
How old is Zelda?
What are you talking about? Oh yeah, you've never
how
played
does-
Breath of the Wild.
No.
Oh, okay. So like the idea of the game is that you are Link and you wake up 100 years after the fall of Hyrule. And so then your journey starts from there, and you're like, what did I do? How did I fail? Stuff like that.
Okay.
And that's your game. I'm gonna have a bunch of Nopon following me by the end of this game. I'm already seeing it. They're just gonna be.
They are following you.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna have a whole bunch.
That's what I told you. You're gonna have an army.
Yeah, a
of
little
freaking
tiny.
Nopon.
Yeah. But yeah, so this game takes place before that, and so you'll get to play as the champions and Link and Zelda and all that stuff, and probably some other people as well. Generally, with the Dynasty Warrior games, you get to play as the heroes and the villains. So that should be cool to see. I'm gonna run away from this battle after it's done, because I want to fight this dude too. But yeah, that was shown. That's releasing in November. So that should be fun to see, honestly.
Sing in November. The
consoles?
expansion for Destiny.
Oh, is it?
Online. It's releasing on November 10th.
Interesting. You think it'll be good?
I'm hoping it'll be good. I've been playing a lot of Destiny as of late just to prepare for said expansion. So I'm hoping it'll be good because I've invested quite a lot of time building up my character at this point. Speaking of, I actually have a new quest that I was supposed to be working on too. Because they just released an exotic quest yesterday, and I started working on it, but I was working on it with a friend, and he wanted to stop to play something else, so we didn't actually finish the quest there. But because we were playing Spellcaster, I think.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Yeah, we stopped to play Spellcaster, and I tried it out. Pretty interesting game.
I bet.
Of course, it's a battle royale.
I did not know that, actually.
Yeah, it's a battle royale, and it's basically you're all mages. That's how I've just been calling them. Not really sure what you would call them, but I mean, there's
Might as well.
runes, there's
We just
spells,
wizards.
casting. Yeah, like we're wizards, but it's a pretty interesting game. Once you get the hang of it, it's really fun. You can combo spells, like with your allies, or just like in general, if you hit somebody else's spell with a, I guess, potentially combo type element, they counteract one another. So like if I have a firewall and I hit it with wind, it blows the fire out. But if I have a tornado that is mine, and then I hit it with fire, I create a flaming vortex.
Okay.
So,
All combinations.
It's just a lot of different combinations. You have lightning, fire, ice, toxin, ground. I think that's all of them, and then like wind, of course.
Yeah, always.
So I think that's all of them, and the combinations are endless. Like you can use a toxic gas, and you can freeze the said toxic gas to become a solid mass, and then you can electrify that solid mass as well. So it's like the combinations are pretty endless there. You can make a toxic tornado and then set that toxic tornado on fire to make explosions. So a lot of combinations there, and it's kind of interesting to see. Of course, there's already like a meta as far as like what items are kind of used.
Of course there is.
Already, a lot of people are using the Earth style magic. It's really powerful. It hits really hard. So a lot of people have been using that. And outside of that, it's kind of up in the wind.
Yeah.
But a lot of the base, like what you're getting hit with, a lot of people use the Earth because it's really good. Like I said, it just hits really hard. So it doesn't really matter if you get hit. You're like, ow, what just hit me? Like you know for a fact you're getting hit. I've seen a lot of ice. I've seen a lot of fire. A lot of toxic. So I mean, outside of the Earth, like the other power that you can have varies definitely, but Earth is a common power that a lot of people have gone with. I personally use fire and lightning, not necessarily as my combination, because you can basically carry two elements with you.
Yeah.
So my base element has been lightning, and I've been trying to just kind of try and find combinations for myself that I enjoy.
You're still figuring yourself out for the game.
Exactly. But I've always personally had a thing for lightning and fire, so that was what I started with. But the two don't actually really combine well as far as combination potential. So I pretty much look like a dweeb running two elements that don't combine. So I'm not really stacking damage or anything of that nature.
You're not being efficient with your build, you're having fun.
Exactly.
That's not how you win.
But, you know, despite that, I played some squads with my friends, and we did manage to win. I think I won personally 3 matches. I think they won some matches before I started playing, so I'm not sure how many they had, but in the span of me playing, we did manage to win 3 games.
Okay. And you're having fun.
Yeah, I'm having fun. It's pretty interesting. As far as like would I get into it as hard as I did like games like Apex and Fortnite when Fortnite first came out? Probably not. I'd probably be a lot more casual on this. I'm trying to stray away from the Battle Royale scene now. So just
Why
to
so? Diversify yourself?
Yeah, just to be able to experience the vast majority of the games that are coming out. Like, I still want to finish my gameplays of Neo and Ghost of Tsushima, so I'm not trying to suddenly get drawn back into a very
endless game.
Yeah, an endless game where it's constantly competitive. Like, if you're not constantly playing, you're pretty
behind.
much losing exactly.
You're constantly behind.
So I'm not trying to get back into any game like that super hard. I really want to take the time and finish off the games that I did start. Like
Backlog.
Even games like Evil Within 2.
Oh my gosh, you haven't finished that?
I haven't finished it, and I want to. I think about it all the time, like, man, I really want to go and finish this game, but it's been, like, I've been away from it so long, I'm going to have to refigure out all the controls.
You might as well just start over.
Exactly, I might as well just start over, and I got pretty decently far into that game, I want to believe. I'm not sure how long that game is, but I want to say I got pretty decently far. So that's been kind of deterring me from going back, because I'm just like, bro, I'm going to have to start all the way over. Like, I still remember the storyline, everything that I did in the game, but the mechanics, that's very important. And if it doesn't make sense to jump into what could be almost the end of the game or the middle of the game and literally not know what I'm doing, especially when resources are kind of scarce. Like, I'm not just going to be able to get those resources back once I use them. So that's kind of deterring me on that end. Like I said, I've been with school and stuff. Ghost of Tsushima's been put on hold. Neo 2 I put on hold, and I still, like I said, I want to go back and finish that as well. So I've just got all these games. I just don't want to get stuck in that endless cycle and just continue like, hey, I gotta keep playing, otherwise I'm not gonna be good.
So it'll free you up by not having this one game you're stuck on. That's cool.
Exactly.
I understand that. I tried to heal and you told me to stop.
You saw that.
I didn't appreciate that. Get out of here. Gosh dang it. Thanks for the heal at the end of the game. Alright. But, that's cool. Yeah. I hope that works out, honestly.
I do as well.
Like, broadening your horizons is always a good thing to do. Like, it's why I have such a wide assortment of games just being played all the time. And I'll just buy games and not even know if they're going to be, like, good. I'm just like, let me just check and see how this is. And you'll find some games you'll be like, okay, I'm really into this. And some games you're like, yeah, I wish I hadn't bought this. But I mean, I'd rather do that and, like, figure out what I do like and what I don't like than, you know, just be stuck doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I should have taken that approach a lot sooner. But I guess a part of me was content with the competitive scene too. Yeah. Because I do.
You were having
like
fun.
The competitive scene. Yeah.
So it's like really you can't be faulted for that, you know?
Yeah, of course. And then being like with Apex being in the top 7% of the player base was like it provided a certain rush knowing that
it made you feel good to know you weren't bad.
Exactly. You know, so it's great. You know, the competitive scene is definitely good for boosting morale, just as, you know, losing is bad for boosting morale. Like, you know, that balance of like, hey, you know, there's always someone better than you.
Yes.
Definitely.
But you were in that top 7%, so there weren't that many.
Exactly, there weren't that many. Like, as far as like skill-based goes, there definitely wasn't that many. Matches were always sweaty, but that just made it more appealing in the end for when you came out on top. Like, I'm still better than you. You're good, but I'm still slightly better. You know, it just the only downside with Apex is the fact that it was and still is so heavily team-based, because having that one player that's not on par with the rest of them really does make a hole. And that was the major downside. That's why games like Fortnite are still really popular, because you don't have to be team-based. You can go solo and still sweat your ass off and have that same, like,
you can
hey,
make
I'm better than you. Exactly. Which, this new game, the Spellcaster, has a solo and duos and trios, so it is a solid contender, definitely, because you're not shooting. You're, it's all magic. I mean, you still have to lead shots and stuff. You gotta, you know, pay attention to where you're aiming your magic, but, you know, we're not shooting guns anymore. So it's definitely a solid contender. I mean, I'm not sure how many people actually remember this game, because a lot of PC players were playing it back when, you know, it was first announced, I believe, last year sometime. And I saw a lot of PC players playing it, like big-name PC players, Ninja and all of them. They played it, and they were talking well about it. But then, of course, that was last year. A lot's happened this year, so it's possible that it's fallen under the radar. Unless you were, like, really keeping up with it, you might not even remember this game is out.
Yeah.
So
games come and go real quick.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's up in the wind as to whether or not it becomes a big contender, because, you know, Warzone, Fortnite, and Apex are still They are now still the big three as far as battle royales go.
I think Fall Guys is coming up real close.
Oh
If
yeah,
not
yeah.
up there now.
Fall Guys is definitely getting up there as well. It's got a lot of people playing it.
Granted, I imagine PUBG will increase a lot this month.
Oh yeah, why is that?
I think it's the free game for PlayStation this month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't
So,
aware of that.
I mean, I think it is. If it is, then yeah. So it'll see an increase as well.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, there is another game that I wanted to talk to you about. I'm not sure. I'm sure you've probably seen it at some point in time. But I heard about this indie developer that was making a Monkey King game, Sun Wukong.
Yes.
Do you know anything
The
about it?
Chinese game.
Yes.
I mean, I know it's like Journey to the West.
Yeah.
Son Goku, all that jazz, and I'm just like, okay, alright.
I'm interested.
We'll see if it's real.
I saw the gameplay.
We'll see if it's real.
I saw the supposed gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
And it looks great.
It looks really nice.
does.
It looks
does.
like a Chinese version of a kind of like Dark Souls-ish kind of thing.
Yes,
And I was like, oh, it's interesting. I want to see how this goes.
I do as well.
Maybe you'll
I'm
actually
I'm
have an
really
actual
interested.
storyline. Because that's a well-defined story, like Journey to the West and all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stuff. So
Journey
they
to
might
the
actually
West,
have
yeah.
something to it. More than like Dark Souls, which is really ambiguous
Just
with
kind
what's
of-
going on.
Yeah, you don't really understand what's going on until you've played it multiple times.
And read all the little lore bits as well.
Yeah. So I saw that a couple weeks back. I
Yeah.
actually watched the trailer. I just kept forgetting to bring it up, but now that we're on the topic of experiences and
New
games and
games.
stuff.
Yeah. That is one of
I
those.
figured I could bring it up. Yeah, that is definitely one of those that I'm super interested in. Sun Wukong is someone that I've been interested in for a while. I've never really gotten a chance to like really learn about the character, but I thought as far as a mythical being, god type entity there, he was a really cool and interesting character. And I've seen him a lot in movies,
Yeah.
or like other video game concepts, like the movie with Jet Li when he actually played the Monkey King.
You've watched Dragon Ball.
I mean, yeah, I've watched Dragon Ball, but I mean, we don't speak as Dragon Ball.
But that is legit. The guy's name is Son Goku. He has the
Yeah,
pole.
yeah.
He's got the
has
monkey
the pole.
tail. It is just
But
Journey
that's
to
not
the
who
West
he is
anime
anymore.
version. I know, but like
not who
I
he
didn't
is
say Dragon Ball Z. I
anymore,
said
but-
Dragon Ball.
But yeah, I mean,
Dragon
yeah,
Ball
I'm
is
saying
like
there's
that.
a lot of iteration that I've seen and
Mhm.
watched, and he's just been an interesting character. So
Yeah.
to actually have a game that looks this good, I've got my hopes up, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it is everything that the gameplay trailer has shown us.
Yes. That would be great to see. It would
yes,
be great
agreed.
to know it's not a lie.
Exactly. So
At this
I'm
moment, I don't
really
believe it.
hopeful. I'm really hopeful on that. I'm not sure. Of course, I don't think they ever came out with a release date
Oh.
just yet. But
Did they even come out with a platform?
I no, they haven't.
Yeah, so like
So
there's-
like I'm just trying to keep an eye out for it at
Yeah.
this point. But I just wanted to say like yeah, that is a game that I am interested in, and of course the new gen games that are going to be coming out. We talked about those, the ones that came from the PlayStation reveal.
Yep.
Definitely still interested in a lot of those games as well. I've got a lot on my plate as far as video games are supposed to be coming. That is still why I can't like invest any time into this new battle royale or any of the other battle royales as I was beforehand, because otherwise I won't get the time to play these games and get these experiences. Because
Yeah.
I'm still sweating my ass off in these other battle royale matches. So for Destiny, I'm really just looking for the expansion. I mean, I always play Crucible, but I'm not going to invest a ton of time in Crucible like I do with most of my shooter-based games, where you play the little campaign or whatever, and then you just spend the rest of your time in Crucible. dunking on other players. Like I will probably, I'll do my quest. If there's any type of chance for a raid or something, I'll take that opportunity. But once I get to that in-game era where it's like not really much to do, I'm just gonna switch my attention to the other games and go about my day.
That works. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't go that way.
Hey, is that 8 from?
Yeah, it's the Gogol.
Okay.
Trying to move around him so I can get this crystal.
Meha?
Yeah, I did it.
Is that
was
Nene?
That was I think that's Kino.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Kino. Being Kino. Alright, great. Got strength up. Yes! That's great. Yeah, but I think the last thing that I saw this... Okay, so there's a rumor going around. There's a few rumors, actually. And now I'm kind of believing that they're true.
Okay.
One rumor being we're getting a stronger Switch. One that can do 4K.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I guess that's something. And then the other rumor being Switch is getting its own Monster Hunter.
Is that not something you guys have had before?
Nintendo is probably the reason Monster Hunter is popular in Japan or in America.
Okay.
It is not the reason it is in America. Like, it started on
Gotcha.
Sony's stuff, like on PSP and PSP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that's where the first ones were for us. But like it didn't get popular until it started being on the Wii, and Nintendo was paying the bill for the stuff, and it was on like that and the 3DS, on systems that were mobile and more popular than the PSP and the PS Vita.
Gotcha.
So like they are the reason it's probably got the popularity it does, and like that goodwill has allowed them to make it for the PlayStation 4 and stuff like that, And we got like ports of the 3DS games for the Switch and the Wii U, but we never got our own game just made for it.
Gotcha.
So this time it seems like we're actually getting one, and the rumor is it's being made with the RE engine, the one for Resident Evil.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay. So at first I was like, that sounds so far-fetched. But then I started remembering, the only reason, like the Switch was supposed to have like, I want to say like 2.5 to 3 gigabytes of RAM. And it has 4 because Capcom apparently approached them and were like, we want to get our Resident Evil engine running on your stuff. You need to have 4 gigabytes. And they're like, okay, bet. We can do that. And I wonder if this is what was... Because I thought we were going to get Resident Evil games, but we never did. We never got the new ones. We've only gotten the old ones.
Yeah.
And like, Japan
so you
gets...
think this is that step?
Yeah, I think this is actually that. And the other thing that makes me believe it is like a dude who posted about this happening, like us getting the Monster Hunter. He also said there's going to be a Shenmue anime or Shenmue cartoon or something, and everyone's like, what the crap nonsense is this? And then like a week later, like, yeah, here's a Shenmue anime cartoon. I was like, oh, it's real. So now everyone's like, oh, he's probably right.
Okay.
And like, that would all line up. Us getting a new Switch, us getting a Monster Hunter that can probably run it better. Stuff like that. Because we've heard rumblings about us getting a new Switch. And like, I'd like to see it actually happen. And them having something that can do 4K would mean they could still stay relevant against like the PS5 and the Xbox One X for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Until they finish whatever they're doing next. So yeah, that's where we're at, really. You know?
Okay. Cool. Hey, there's some big monsters out here, buddy.
Yeah. There are. Oh dang, that's red. That's a no-go.